disown Tim. If life isn't my number one issue and taxes are, I shouldn't disown and not work with Tim. All right? Because we're still fighting the same monster. All right. So I got here church denominations. So if they're Baptists are doing one way, Catholics doing another way, or Protestant or whatever. Same mindset. I got here Americans for Prosperity, Eagle Forum, Tea Party Patriots, Freedom Works. All national groups. All good groups. With separate focuses on fighting the fight. Don't say, well, I like Tea Party Patriots but hate Freedom Works. Because we're in competition with each other. We're hurting each other. Right? Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin, Simon Conway, Tamara Scott. These are all voices on the radio for our side. On our armed forces, if you will. Okay? Tea Party groups, all the different ones, 912 groups, SOAR groups. In the Iowa Grassroots Coalition, we have done that really well. We embraced all these different groups, you know, and just because you don't have Tea Party in your name doesn't mean you're not part of us, or just because you're not Tea Party in your name, you're still a part of the movement of the people. All right? And that's why we named the Iowa Grassroots Coalition, just for that sake. The border sheriffs. There's 4 different border sheriffs organizations that sprung up as coalitions and associations for the exact same reason why your groups spawned up and got together, because the government wasn't paying attention. Wasn't helping them, wasn't listening to them, what the problems are, and so on and so forth. So they formed their own coalitions. They're pretty much just Tea Party groups working on the issues that they want to work on. All right? Okay. Then the last group of people is like authors and champions that are out there with documentaries and stuff. So I got Ann Coulter, John Stossel, Milton Friedman, Denise D'Souza, Glenn Beck, just to name a few that are in a variety of different areas, right? But they're all on the same team. And that's what I was trying to show with this slide, is that all of us are on the same team. Stop fighting each other. Stop. If someone's championing something that you think is worthless, it's not worthless to them. So let them fight, because they're still on our side. They're still fighting the monster. And the monster is who we're trying to defeat. Okay? So then I jumped over here to Congress. So I got Rob Blum, Steve King, and Louis Gohmert, 3 congressmen that I know personally, and I have much respect for all 3 of them. Once in a while, one of them will do something stupid, right? And we all know that. But you can't erase all the benefits that they had. They've got Purple Hearts in the fight of the war, even though a lot of times they're like this. And it needs to be like this. And the reason why it's not like this, because we're non-existent. And I'll get to more about that here in a minute. So anyway, and then I talked about the presidential candidates. Bobby Jindal, Marco Rubio, Ben Carson, Donald Trump. We're all on the same side. We're all fighting the same monster, right? So here's some things I want to point out that gets overlooked. Despite the divisions, I already mentioned this, that no rhinos made the top 5, right, of the presidential election. That's outstanding. That's because of you, we the people, right? Even though he wasn't our choice in this room, Donald Trump was one of those individuals that won the presidency. Not Bush, not Graham, the progressive Republicans, right? Now look at this. The current administration's cabinet. Let me point some of this out. General Mad Dog Mattis, who I know personally, is a Tea Party person. He is a strong Tea Party-minded individual. The Secretary of Interior, Navy SEAL Ryan Zinke, also a Tea Party candidate that is now on the cabinet. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Thomas Bryce, actually got his start as a Tea Party candidate in one. And now He's in the cabinet. Secretary of Housing and Development, we know Ben Carson's a Tea Party person, supporter, right? Secretary of Homeland Security was John Kelly, who's now the Chief of Staff, but still another principled constitutionalist. I don't know him personally to know if he's a Tea Party person, but I do know that he's a constitutionalist. Director of the CIA. Wow. Some of our biggest noticed complaints about we the people in the past 10 years has been the CIA and the NSA targeting us and blah, blah, blah. Well, now it's Mike Pompeo, who actually started as a citizen, got in the Tea Party group, decided to run for office, and won, and now he's on the cabinet ahead of the CIA. A Tea Party guy. To me, that's just outstanding. Okay, so then $1.6 billion just got approved last month for the building of the wall, right? So that's a good start. And guess where they took it from? They didn't reallot any money from the Department of Defense. How many Tea Party messages were we saying that the sovereignty of this country, the borders of this nation, is a defense? It's the constitutional, one of the actual accountability things that our government's supposed to do. So it just makes sense to take it from the defense budget, does it not? Outstanding. And it's because of we the people. So, what is our number one largest weapon, Quatin, that we have available to us right now, we the people, so that we can stop being this and start being this?
Our voices.
It's us, yeah.
Okay,
we
close.
the people.
Close, but an actual tool that's out there right now.
Tool.
Close, because we knew the Constitution, right? But you know, and we're going to continue to stay on that. Yes. No, but great guesses. And yes, all those are tools. Tim mentioned it. The platform.
Oh.
Forever, our elected officials kept telling us that they have to make sure that they follow the platform.
Yeah.
All right, this is prior, or the first early years of our movement, when we were first facing face to face. This is their excuse they gave. In fact, I had some early speeches saying how the platforms, the party platforms, were getting higher priority than the Constitution. Remember that? That's a reality that we were fighting at the beginning of our movement. So what did we do? We started taking over our central committees across this entire state and nation. I know just in my county alone, we went and visited our central committee for the GOP. A 15-seat committee had 3 people on it. And they've been there for years and years and years and years, and they hardly did anything. They passed the can around for some donations and stuff, and once in a while they'll put something in the paper until election time, and then they're trying to put out good information about the candidates. But that's it. But now our Tea Party group is in there. We have 12 people sitting on a 15-seat committee that are from our Tea Party group. And throughout Iowa, it's exactly the same story. Tea Party people said, hey, I'm part of we the people, citizens acting on citizenship, right? So citizens doing this and getting engaged and getting involved and going to sit on their committees and making things happen. Well, who comes up with the Iowa state platform? From where? Starts from those committees, does
The
it not?
delegates. Yeah.
Platform.
Yeah.
Platform
committee.
Yep. So then those are sent, right, up the ladder until it finally gets to the state level. And our state level
Changes
in
it.
12 and 16 had, well, mostly in 12, had almost a complete takeover from our movement, right, from we the people. And since then, some dropped off and got attacked or whatever, you know, I'm not going to go through all that, but the point being is that our Iowa platform for the first time is the most conservative, principled platform put together because we did it. We the people made that happen for the first time. An outstanding job. And Tim, bam, is actually doing it with his organization. He took the verbiage that's actually on the platform.
I put it there.
He was on the committee, so that's outstanding. Right? But this is just on that one topic, though. And in the slides that I had every title that's on the platform, so everybody could see it. But every issue that we're fighting for is on there. But once the platform is made, we forget about it. We go right back to just complaining and pointing fingers at our elected officials because of a bad vote one made. And we're not even going to talk to them about the vote because we don't have the information, the platform, to go and talk to them about it, other than we're mad at them. That's our fault. That's not those elected officials' fault. We need to get engaged. And what word did you use? It wasn't chastising, but you said something that's all you're going to do. But I am chastising you.
No.
I'm chastising me. I'm chastising we the people because we are so easy to get into that. And it's the same faces showing up all the time. Well, here's something old that's new. Our platform. Find what issues that you're fighting for. Talk to your group about it. And if you're just an individual activist, the same thing. Just find it online and download it. It's all there. Get that verbiage and then make an appointment with your state legislators. With your governor. And say, look, the platform says this. Why are you doing this? The platform says this and you're going off the stupid polls and what the culture is telling you. Who cares about that? And I told someone here, I think Kay, when I first got here, that we met with McConnell. And he was talking about all these different status quo things that they're tired of. The status quo that he needs to stop, but he told us that is the way they do business up there is they don't get mad or punish somebody in the leadership or in the GOP because they know that individual who they just made mad is going to vote against them for the next 10 votes, whatever that might be. Whatever those votes might be for.
Unless they're actually conservative, then they don't have a problem.
Exactly.
Irritating Ted Cruz or Mike Lee.
Exactly.
Good point.
So that's going back to that list. So our champions, Ted Cruz and those guys, McConnell, which I think is a progressive Republican, which I think Ryan Pluribus was a progressive Republican, which I think Ryan is a progressive Republican.
Yeah.
And let me show you just real quick, and I don't mean to take a ton of time, and I haven't even talked about Tea Party Patriots yet, but I do this a lot. Think of my two arms as two poles. This one completely full of rust and decay and falling apart, and this one's pristine and shiny and new. If you lean those two poles against each other for 4 years, what begins to happen to this pole? The rust starts where?
The top.
From the top.
Where they touch.
The progressive movement has already knocked out all of the John F. Kennedy Democrats and all those guys. Progressive movement literally taken over the entire Democratic Party. And it's now spilling over into the Republican side from the leadership down. We the people movement, right, are slowly but surely taking our country back, right? We're not here yet, but we're about right here. And the leadership saw this and sees this. So the leadership now fighting this front as well as this front. They want the power, which we gave them, right? But now they're fighting us too. So the Ted Cruzes and the Mike Lees and Louis Gomers are being attacked. So make sure you're going to your elected official and you're supporting him when he does good stuff as well. Don't just go and cry at him when he does something bad. Go and support him. Thank yous for good things that they're doing as well. The more we the people do that, the more we'll keep gaining ground, okay? Okay, so that's that part. I think I beat that horse to death enough. So I'm going to talk a little bit, real quick, about Tea Party Patriots and how we can help you. We developed a handbook that's free You can get it one of two ways. One, you can just go on teapartypatriots.org and